Hania's bypass to Aston Martin isn't actually massive information, it's far a endeavor changer that might reshape the future of Formula One. The legendary fashion clothier answerable for a number of the most dominant cars in F1 history is officially set to start going for walks with Aston Martin on March 23. 3202. I find the timing couldn't be extra essential with Ney's unequaled knowledge and Aston Martin's formidable ambitions. This seismic shift need to in the end position them to venture the dominance of Red Bull, Mercedes and Ferrari. However, what precisely does Ney's arrival advise for the group, and the manner will it impact their journey to the top stick round? Due to truth, we're breaking down the whole thing. You want to understand, from Aston Martin's contemporary state to the jaw-dropping capability they now maintain, with Newey at the helm and earlier than we get commenced. Ensure to love this video, join the channel and stay until the surrender. Adrian Ney is greater than most effective a name in Formula One. He's a legend with over 100 race wins and 26 mixed drivers and constructors championships. Nia's have an impact on the exercise is wonderful. He is the individual that grew to be businesses like Williams, McLaren and Maximum, recently Red Bull, into championship triumphing juggernauts. His functionality to count on, adapt, innovate has made him the ultimate weapon under phone's ever-changing rules, and now Aston Martin has controlled to deliver this mastermind into their fold. However, lies Ney's pass to Aston Martin the sort of massive deal to understand that we want to take a look at wherein the institution is coming from. Aston Martin has been on an upward trajectory for the reason that Lawrence Walk took over making and funding closely in the organization's infrastructure and talents, they're cutting edge. Been competitive inside the recruitment market, bringing in key figures like Andy Cowell, who performed a pivotal feature in Mercedes' dominance subsequently of the hybrid generation, and Enrico Cardal, a former Ferrari technical chief, through way of adding Adrian Ney to this lineup. Aston Martin has finished what ought to probably just be the maximum formidable brain trust in Formula One final season, but highlighted the gap that still exists among Aston Martin and the top agencies. 2024 commenced with immoderate expectations following a strong 2023 advertising and marketing campaign in which Fernando Alonzo claimed 8 podiums and usually challenged the front runners. However, the AMR 24 failed to deliver the leap ahead the group head was hoping for, on the same time as Alonzo persevered to punch above his weight. Securing the bulk of the organization's elements, Aston Martin completed 5th inside the constructor standings. They trailed 4th place, Mercedes, by means of the usage of a big 374 element, and or an excellent 572 points within the back of global champions McLaren. The automobile's loss of pace, mainly in excessive downforce circuits, became painfully obvious as the season stepped forward. No matter the stressful situations, there were glimpses of what Aston Martin may want to advantage with the right device and direction. Fernando Alonso's performances were a reminder of his tremendous talent and backbone even in heaps, much less than best machinery. Lance Walk, at the equal time as inconsistent, confirmed flashes of ability, despite the fact that many agree with is going to want to noticeably step up his exercising if Aston Martin desires to compete at the pointy surrender of the grid this is, in which Adrian Ney is to be had, if his role as handling technical companion goes a long way past truly designing fast automobiles. He is likewise tasked with reshaping the crew's whole technique to achieve engineering and development. Ney's information of thriving below new rules makes him the right wholesome for Aston Martin as they tools up for the 2012 season, with Honda drawing close board as a works engine partner and Aramco offering cutting-edge gasoline technology. Ney will have all the belongings he wants to create an automobile that may dominate inside the new generation of phone. What makes Ney's arrival even greater thrilling is his potential to discover typical overall performance in which others can't. He is a keepneer of exploiting regulation loopholes and of pushing the limits of what's allowed at Red Bull. He modified into instrumental in growing vehicles that failed to truly win. They dominated from the blown diffusers of the early 2000s to the floor impact masterpiece that have ended up the RBN 19. Ney has constantly examined that he's steps ahead of the opposition now. Hill is probably bringing that same ingenuity to Aston Martin with Ney in rate of technical development. Aston Martin is set to deal with some of the weaknesses that plagued their 2024 advertising marketing campaign. The MR2, on the way to be the final car advanced beneath the current hints, is predicted to terrific aerodynamic and mechanical enhancements designed to close the distance to the frontrunners, but the real focus may be on the 2026 vehicle Ney enjoy navigating. Number 1, regulation changes ought to deliver Aston Martin a vital advantage as phone enters its next era. The functionality advantages of getting Ney on board extend past the automobile itself. His presence will possibly entice even more top know-the-wear to Aston Martin, similarly strengthening their technical and operational skills. He is moreover anticipated to play a key feature in optimizing the institution's courting with Honda, ensuring that their new electricity unit is seamlessly covered into the chassis. Fernando Alonso, for his element, will truly be thrilled to paintings with a person of Newey's quality. Alonso has made it clear that he's nonetheless chasing that elusive global championship, and Newey could probably simply be the person to provide him the auto he desires. To make it seem, the mixture of Alonso's relentless willpower and Newey's technical brilliance can be a game changer for Aston Martin. So what are we able to in truth anticipate from Aston Martin in the years yet to come? Even as whilst it's miles a tall order to assume them immediately hard for the championship in 2025, all of the pieces are being meticulously located for a critical pick-out run through manner of 2026. With Adrian Newey taking the reins on technical development, Andy Cowell orchestrating operations with precision, and Fernando Alonso bringing his unequaled capacity and hunger for victory to the track, Aston Martin is shaping up to be a effective contender. Newey's arrival on my own is a monumental step. However, Smiles, the synergy of those elements, global magnificence, engineering, ambitious leadership, and seasoned using capabilities that could propel Aston Martin into Components 1's elite. This isn't always pretty lots one season, that is approximately laying the premise for a legacy. The imaginative and prescient is formidable, and the stakes could not be higher. But here's the massive query: can they pull it all together? Formula One is not only a battle of tempo, it's miles, a conflict of facts. An unmirrored over website online can get to the bottom of months of hard work and each tenth of a TWD topics Aston Martin is not genuinely in search of to compete. They may be searching for to disrupt the established hierarchy, to move toe-to-toe with the likes of Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari, and they are doing it with one among the most decorated engineers in the facts of the sport vital to charge. Let's not neglect Fernando Alonso on this equation. At 43 years vintage, Alonso remains as fierce, sharp, and steady as ever. His strength for a third global championship is the stuff of legends, and now with Adrian Newey designing the car and a committee cover making sure it plays at its pinnacle, Alonso should in the end have the equipment he desires to make facts trust Alonso all over again at the pinnacle step of the podium. Aston Martin's partnership with Honda might be the ace up their sleeve. Newey has a records of thriving below new pointers. The usage of his ingenuity to locate benefits wherein others see annoying conditions. If statistics repeats itself, Aston Martin could come to be one of the frontrunners of this new technology. Their collaboration with Honda Aramco is greater than first-rate a technical partnership. It is an announcement of cause, a signal that this institution isn't right here to comply with but to steer.